Distance.
So we are having four types of relationship. Five types of relationship available here. First is generalization, where we are having a use case B, so that a use case B inherits some relationship from the its parent use case, that is A. So use case B inherits some relationship from its super class, super use case. So it can have some properties and behaviors from the use case A. In addition to that, we are having four more use case relationship. First is include relationship. When I'm saying that A includes B, it means that we are in the half through of use case A, that is, and then use case B is called. In previous class, I said that A includes B. It means that the use case B provides some additional properties or behavior to use case A. Now, when we are going for the implementation part, it means that we are in the halfway of use case A. We are implementing, or we are in the function. We are in when use case A is being called, and it is in the lifespan of use case A. When we are in the lifespan of use case A, then we want some additional property, so use case B is called. Then after uh, when we finishes B, that the functions of B, then again A is carried out from where it has been left off. So it is just like an A has a B. So this is like we can say that A contains some additional properties of B. So we can include relationship that includes A includes B for A has additional properties of B. When A is functioning, then we need some additional functionality, and then we call B from that point, and after completing the functionality of B, we just again control goes back to the use case A. Then we are having an additional functionality that is known as extend relationship, which says that which is just an opposite of include relationship. So it is having a backward arrow in the opposite direction of include. So when we are saying that A extend B, it means that direction is from B to A. So when we are having some steps, we are going to compute some steps of use cases B. Then the execution of uh, uh, execution during the execution of B. So this is an extension point of B. That means that we are providing some optional behavior of B into the use cases of A. So we like to aid the extend relationship. So uh, when we are considering this include and invokes relationship, sorry, extend relationship, these are the both subtypes of the relationship invokes over here. So this is just an invoke relationship which says that A invokes B. It means that use case B happens during the lifespan of use case A. So in case of extending the use case B, when uh, a use case, let's say we are computing the steps of use case A, uh, and and that are performed during the execution of use case B. So in both use case relationship include and extend. So these are both happen during the lifespan of A. So A provides additional properties in, and extend relationship provides you some uh, optional properties to use case A. Then we are having some more relationship that is known as proceed relationship. So proceed relationship says that a use case A must take place in its entirely lifespan before a use case B events begins. So let's say I want to check the details of my fees payment in our ERP. So before that, so this is my one use case, that check the payment details or check the class schedule. So before that, a use case A, let's say it is an login. So login always happens before your check payment detail or join your classes. So this is a use case A, that is login precedes before entering into your classes. So this is uh, proceed relationships. Now we'll start some use case diagram. So we are having some, I'm including a general package diagram like from here. So it is from this general package. So I'm considering this general package. So starting with this general package, what we can do is we can uh, have a customer, we can have a user over here. So this is a user, so that is been called from a shopping package. So this is from shopping package. So let's check what is in shopping package. So this is my shopping package. So I'm having customer. In addition to that, this customer or this user is again available in the general package. So we can call this customer from this package to general package. Now, so in the general package diagram, we are having some functions that a customer can return a book, a customer can view order history, he can find where is my stuff, he can add to wish list some books, he can open an account, he can log in, he can log out from the system, he can edit his shopping cart, or he can cancel his orders. So uh, when I'm using a nomenclature for my use case, I will use a verb before a noun. So this is verb plus noun, or we can say that this is a noun phrase. Don't go for noun, only noun. So if I am saying that a book, a single book, so this book will be a verb instead of noun. So I'm when I'm going for this view order history. So just if you are want to say that you like to include the history, so for the history you should add some verbs before this history. So this would like a view order history. Again, when we are going for the nomenclature of actors, so we'll use noun, and for the nomenclature of actors we'll use noun, and for the nomenclature of use case we'll go for verb plus noun. Now again, this is the use case diagram of our admin packages. So for admin packages, what we'll do is we are having four different customers or users available. So first is shipping clerk, second one is seller, third one is customer, and fourth one is webmaster. Now we can associate each customer, each actor with some use cases. So in the final round, what we can do is we can put an arrow over here so that shipping clerk can dispatch order. So before shipping clerk dispatches order, so we are having a checkout that is being called from our shopping package. So in shopping package invokes a dispatch order. In addition to that, your checkout again invokes your monitor stock levels. So uh, simple sa relationship hai. What we can say that in the invokes uh, a use case, when we are having a invoke relationship which says that A invokes B, it means that B is sometimes called in the lifespan of use case A. So when we are going for checkout, we'll will go for dispatch order. That is, we we are we are entering the details of our addresses, and then we'll go and we finally go for what we'll finally go for completing our order. So before completing our order, we can call a dispatch order. That is, and that is dispatch order is activated or initialized by your shopping clerk. Then in addition to that, we are having a checkout. So for checkout, it invokes a monitor stock levels. So finally, when we check out, first we check the number of items available in our stock, and before that, uh, we are having a order books from publisher. So when we are having some books in our stock, then we can check out from our system. So this isn't just an invoke relationship. In addition to that, a seller can add external books to his catalog, or he can remove books from other catalog. So we don't want to put any relationship or in between this use cases. So this just a relationship, association relationship from this seller to this add external books catalog, and one association from this remove external books from catalog. Then we are in three different use cases or three functionalities for customer service. This is process a refund or respond to query, or this is unlock or unlock a locked account. So these are three different functionalities of or customer services. Then we are having a webmaster. So webmaster having four functionalities, that is moderate customer review, then add additional review, then remove your book from catalogs, or you can add books to your catalog. Then again going for shopping packages. So we are having again some relationship here. So first is customer goes for checkout his items. So before checkout his items, he checkout invokes your enter your addresses, then you enter your payment details, that is pay by card or something like that, or pay by purchase order or pay by check. So before checking out, you will call different functionalities, that you enters your addresses, or you enter your payment details. Instead we can have is that we can check out, we can add an additional functionality, that is by payment, and this payment is being inherited by pay by card or pay by purchase order or pay by check. Then we are having an functionality, that is login, that is being called from your general packages. So general packages always proceeds before checkout. Again we are having write a reader review. So this review must be written just after you are login to your system. So we are having some invokes and proceed relationship over here. Then we are in the searching package. So in searching packages, a customer search for books, so he can search books by his author name, or by title, or by category, or search by keyword, or search by advanced search. So we are in some common attributes over here, so we can add this common attributes to search for books use case. While having some specialization, we can add different functionalities as a generalization. So we are as in specialization. So this search for books becomes a generalized class or generalized functionality for your search by author, or search by title, or search by category, and so on. Now when we are completing a try to write use case description for this use case, we have to consider this basic and alternative courses, or we can say that basic flow of events and alternative flow of events. You can write alternatively, that is basic flow of event, or basic course, or alternative course of event, or alternative flow of events. So we are having two types of events. First is basic course, and second one is alternate course. So basic course are the when things are going good, and we'll consider alternate courses when things are going in the wrong direction, or it may be a worse condition. So let's say we want to write a review for a book. So basic course might be just like a flow of events. So I'm saying that basic flow of events. So I will write this basic course of flow just like as a flow of events. So it should be right as the customer clicks on the right review button on the book that is currently he's viewing. Then the system shows right review screen. Then customer types in a book review, it gives a book rating out of 5 star, and it clicks a send button. Then the system ensures that book review isn't too long or short, and that the book rating is within 1 and 5 stars. The system then displays a confirmation screen. The review is sent to the moderator, and it is ready to be edited. So when uh, what are different conditions when things go wrong? So first is user is not logged in the system. So a user is asked to log in the system. So a login screen will be displayed to user, and he can write his review when after logging to the system. Another worst case is that user enter his review that is too long. So when we are in it too long, so system rejects the review and responds with a message explaining why the review has been rejected. Or another case is when the review is too short, it may be less than 10 characters. So system rejects your review. So from this uh, basic flow and the alternative flow, you can find out your different functionalities over here. So when we are developing a sequence diagram, so sequence diagram is generally developed from this basic flows, basic course or basic flow of events. So we can say that a customer clicks on right review button. So we are having some class that generate a right review screen. Then customer types book reviews. We are having it displays some books to user, then it gives reviews. So we are having some input box available where a user inputs, gives its input. Then we are having some uh, cross check buttons, that is a cross check system that finds where a user cannot enter more than 1 MB of text, or it cannot enter a very small set of characters for reviewing. In addition to that, your system should provide an uh, different stars, so 1 star to 2 star, 3 star, so that is been recorded from your screen. So you have to provide some star or uh, mm, some stars when a user clicks on the 1 star, so you record a very poor rating, and when a user clicks on 5 stars, so you record a very high rating for this book. Then after having some after having this functionality, you will provide a confirmation screen, and then your review should be sent to the moderator. So moderator will check it, and after checking the moderator, this will be review shown on the books catalog. So it will include how information is flow from one end to another end. So this is very important for developing a sequence diagram. Instead, in addition to that, uh, what we can do is we'll provide we can identify some functions and different classes from this uh, basic course, and we can find the worst case scenario in the alternative course. Now the next case is, so how to write a use case description. So we are having a use case description template available here. So for use case description template, we start with the name of a use case. So it will provide the name of use case here. So you should start with the name of use case, then the context of use. So it is optional. So you can add a context of use, or you can't you can avoid it. So for the context of use, you can provide a longer statement of the goal. So you provide what is the goal of developing this use case, or what is its objective, or what are the occurrence conditions associated with these use cases. Then then you have to add a scope of use cases, uh, what the system is being considered as a black box under your design. So you will provide overall view of your system, so it just reflects what actually the system is. Then a label, so you can add one of the summary or user goal or the sub functions. So you can add like this is an user goal, or you can, or this is a summary type of use case, or it is an sub function type of use case. Then we have to add the primary actors. So we had discussed earlier what are the primary actors and what are the supporting actors. So the primary actors are the user of our system. So you can add the actor here, who's the actor of your system. Then you can add, this is an again an optional case where you can add the stakeholders and the interest. So you are having a list of stakeholders available, or you can add key interest in the use cases who are having the key interest in the use cases. So you it is an optional. So in some use cases stakeholders are available, and in some cases it is not. Then we have to add some preconditions. So what are the preconditions? So like the precondition is that when I want to write a review, so precondition must be that I must be login in our system. Then comes post condition. So in case of post condition, that post condition says that what should be uh, the output of our system. So it may include the minimum guarantee, that how the interest of your interest are being protected under the all conditions that are exist in a system. Then it will provide the success guarantees, that what might be the state of our system after executing this use cases. Then trigger, this is again an optional, so you can add trigger or you can avoid it. So the trigger includes what starts the use cases, or it may be a time event and so on. So who are the triggering uh, uh, entities of these use cases. Then you can include main success scenario. So you can put different steps of scenario from trigger to the goal event. Like you can add a basic course available here. Then we are using extension point. So when we are having some extend relationship over here, so we can put our extension relationship here. So if you are don't having some extension relationship, so you can avoid this. then then this is an optional case. So in case you can add your technology on the data variation list. So you are having different technology list associated with this. So in the earlier phases, technology and data variation list are avoided. In the final cases, you can, in the final step, or when you are having a stable use case description, so you can add your technology associated with these use cases. like uh, like as an example, that uh, uh, in case of login system, so we can add technology, like we have to add this password field. Is password field should be uh, hmm, should not shown the character, it must provide a star. So you can add uh, a corresponding JavaScript uh, over here, so that can hide your password uh, from that is available in the star or some dots. Then some related information, so you can provide some more additional information available. So this is an just a use case description available template here. Then so this is an example, so I'm writing an use case description over here. So the use case is, the name of the use case is just show book details. So it will provide the information or the functionalities of show book details, show showing your book details. Then what is its level? So it is fulfilling the user goals. So either we can write a user goal or summary, or uh, one of this summary or the user goal, or different levels over here. Then what must be the precondition associated with the use case description? So in precondition, the user must be viewing our website and he must be logged into our system. Then we are going for the basic course of action. So in the basic flow of events, we can write, if the user has an account, he may log in the first. Then the user may navigate to the website main area. Then this area must be easily accessible and should provide the easy access to the search area. So you can find some functional as well as non-functional requirements over here. So the non-functional requirement must this area must be easily accessible and should provide easy access to the search area. So this might be an uh, non-functional requirement. Then the user browses the details of book title. So this might be your functional requirement. Then the system display the screen showing the book information. So again, we are having some GUI available here. So this is a hint that you have to develop an GUI for displaying the list of books or information of book. If the user wishes, so he may proceed to purchase book. So again, we are having a sequence of flow. So if the user wants to purchase a book, so you can provide a navigation to purchase a book. Then allowed payment options are as follows. So we are having different payment options. So we are having three or four, like a Visa, American Express, or some check. So the check must be reviewed the billing department and so on. So we are in so we are having different payment options available. So we can create a use case for payment system. So this is a use case description of showing book details. So for showing book details, you can associate, it may associate another use case, that is purchase books. So view books proceeds to purchase book, and purchase book again proceeds to, or it invokes the payment order. So we are having different relationships available here, so we can have different we can map all these conditions over here. Then what are the post conditions? So post conditions are the book details, the screen is being shown, and the details of the selected book has been retrieved. So these are the post condition when the state of our system changes, or information system changes from precondition to post condition after applying the basic course of events. Now, so these are the requirement step. Now we are going for the requirement review step. So in case of requirement review step, what we have to do is that we have identified a use case diagram as well as the domain diagram, and now we want to write a requirement specification. Requirement, we had also written the requirement specification, and after the requirement specification, what we try to do is we like to review our uh, requirements. So in case of requirement review, what is the need of this requirement review? So any suggestions from anybody? Why we are going for the requirement review? So first condition is that the customer has involved in the initial requirement gathering and the efforts and the use case modeling workshops. But the problem is that when we are going back to the customer and check the system that is being described generally, that is matches our requirements, so this must be a difficult case. Why it is so? Because you don't have a direct connection with the customer. Either you have to call him or you have to email these requirements. So when you like to email your requirements, it might be in 200 pages long document, and you ask them to reply that you are comfortable with this requirements, or you need some requirement modifications. So instead, your customer might not be comfortable with reading all those 200 set of documents. What you can do is you can have personal meeting with your customer, and then again showing these requirements. So so the basic requirement is that we have to finalize our requirement that is being modeled. So when we are in the phase of requirement analysis, so we can update our requirement as per the user. Otherwise, when we are having some dynamic requirements, we can model it, but it takes some times to apply in our system. So before going some in the design phases or in the robustness design, what we'll try to do is we'll like to review our requirements from the customer, and before going to customer, what we'll try to do is we again review our requirements. So we are having some reviewers available with us, so this reviewer again reviews our requirement. So we'll include this requirement in the next lecture. So uh, uh, we'll see different conversation of their requirement analyst and requirement uh, reviewer. So how can we change